Goddammit. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Mac Lessons Radio Show. My name is Mr. Tariq Elite, also known as King Flex, also known as Tariq Nasheed. Glad to have everybody tuning in on today's show. Today's show, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you by headhuntersgear.com. That's where you can step your gear game up. That's headhuntersgear.com. Today's show is also brought to you by a new clothing line at Low 1221. You can get the Low 1221 clothing line at cafepress.com/LOW1221. They got fly t-shirts, all types of accessories. That's LOW1221. And you can get that at cafepress.com/Low1221. And today's show is brought to you by GlobalBlackSingles.com. Fellas, if you want to get your game popping worldwide on an international level, you want to holler at sisters over in Africa, you want to holler at sisters over in Brazil, you want to holler at some Caribbean females, you want to holler at some Polynesian sisters out there, go to GlobalBlackSingles.com, sign up, share your game, chop up game with women and ladies. If you want to step your game up and get you a cool Nigerian brother, you want to get you a nice fly brother from India with a hookup on sandals, or a Malaysian dude with a hookup on lace fronts, go to GlobalBlackSingles.com, ladies and gentlemen. And today's show is also brought to you by HiddenColorsFilm.com. You guys go to HiddenColorsFilm.com to check out the critically acclaimed documentary, Hidden Colors. Let me put on some Mackie music so I can really chop it up with the family today. There we go. Let me put on some Mackie music so I can chop up game. And my movie, The Eugenist, that's coming out pretty soon. You guys can see the trailer at TheEugenist.com. Check that out at TheEugenist.com. A lot of people like the trailer. We put the trailer up on YouTube, and a lot of people like the trailer. And I put the trailer up on all my Facebook pages. I have my main Facebook page, I have my Tariq Elite fan page, I have the Eugenist page, I have the Hidden Colors Facebook page. Now, there was a lot of people from the Hidden Colors page that, not a lot, there were about three people, 2 or 3 people who were kind of complaining. They were like, okay, the Eugenist is cool, but I thought I want to see some shit about the black man, you know. They thought that the Eugenist was going to be kind of like Hidden Colors. So they were kind of upset about it. But the thing is, you have to understand, all my movies are not going to be the same. And I appreciate everybody liking Hidden Colors. And we have Hidden Colors 2 coming out. But you have to understand that all my movies are just not going to be the same. I have to expand. I have to upgrade. I have to grow. So I'm going to try different films and do different genres just to expand the brand. That's how you grow. People, they'll try to put you into a box sometimes. When you do something, they want you to continue to do that. I know they try to put the brother Tyler Perry in that box. And the brother, I know he wants to expand, he wants to grow, but his core audience, the minute he tries to deviate from the normal script, the core audience, they start getting rumbled up a little bit. Just like when Tyler Perry announced that he was going to put Kim Kardashian in one of his films. They're like, oh, hell no, they put that white bitch in the film, fuck all that. Sisters start getting all riled up. So you have to understand, creative people, you have to let creative people grow. And not just creative people, we all have to upgrade ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Life is about upgrading. You don't want to keep doing the same thing you were doing last year or the year before. I mean, if you're successful at something and people want more of it, you give the people what they want, but you also grow with that. You expand. And not just in your career. Your career is one thing, and your creativity is one thing, but also you need to upgrade yourself as far as the people you deal with. You can't still be dating the same type of people you were dating when you were in high school. You got to upgrade. You got to expand yourself. You got to expand your horizons. You got to become more worldly. And not only that, you have to upgrade your look. There's a lot of people who had a hot year back in 1991 and they stuck in 1991. You've seen females and dudes like that. You've seen the chick walking around the club looking like a broke ass Salt and Pepper. And you seen some old broke niggas in the club looking like Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock and shit. These niggas ain't never upgraded themselves. You gotta upgrade yourself. You know who upgraded themselves real good? The girls from the group Escape. I like the show Housewives of Atlanta. Sometimes I like it. Sometimes when they get to acting a damn fool, it's a little over the top. But for the most part, I like some of the women on there. The women are very personable. I like Candy. Candy's one of my favorites. Candy is a very sexy girl. I like Candy. She's a little short little thing with a bubble on her. I knocked the bottom out of Candy's little ass. I like Candy. Candy's very sexy, but Candy upgraded herself. And even a lot of the girls in the group that she was in, Escape, you know, they bettered themselves. There was another one, I can't think of her name. She was in the group. It's not the real thick one. It's not Tiny. It's the other one. I can't think of her name. I saw her in a stage play. She looked real good. A little chocolate sweet thing. She looked real good. And it's amazing that they really upgraded themselves, because if y'all remember back in the 90s when Escape first came out, their first album, they were looking kind of rough. Go to their very, very first album, they were looking real dusty. They were looking real rough. They had the perfect name, Escape, because they looked like they escaped from a damn zoo. But as they got older, they started to invest in themselves and they upgraded that look. And that's a very smart thing to do. A lot of women, y'all try to fall back on your youth. And there are a lot of older women coming into the fray that's real crisp with their game, that's showing out on you. A lot of women out here who are older are looking real fly because they know how to upgrade themselves. So sometimes you just can't depend on your youth, ladies. You gotta upgrade yourself, even if you're young. Because there's a lot of young fly chicks, but they're dusty. And that kind of dissipates your whole vibe. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I digress. Let me get into some game today. Before I get into that, shout out to the brother Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders went to court today. He's getting a divorce from his lovely wife, ex-wife, Pilar Sanders. It's a sad thing, but it's a joyous thing because Pilar is starting to show her ass. And their divorce has gotten real ugly. And a few weeks ago, Pilar tried to get into a fight with Deion at their house because they were still living together. And they were just going through a very ugly divorce. And they went to court today, and the judge awarded Deion total custody of his home and custody temporarily of the children. And the brother had a Trump-type prenup, so he's winning. This brother respected the game and did not allow himself to be dominated by the woman. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the topic of today's show. Today's topic is all about men being dominated by their women. Fellas, ask yourself, are you being dominated by your woman? Just look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you being dominated by your woman? If you're being dominated by your woman, say yes. If you're dominated by your woman, look in the mirror, and this is what you say.
All you gotta do is say yes. Don't deny what you feel. Let me undress.
I just wanted to play. I had to play that. I had to work that into the conversation. I wanted to play that because a lot of folks have been requesting that. But I digress, ladies and gentlemen. I digress. But like I said, man, I want to talk to the brothers out here, man, about being dominated by your woman, because I was on Ustream the other night, and I may or may not do a Ustream show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I may or may not do one. I might. It just depends on the mood I'm in. I got a lot of shit I'm doing because we're still filming for Hidden Colors 2, by the way. But on Ustream, there was a brother who called up. He was talking about, he said, Flex, my ex is tripping, man. I'm dealing with my ex, and she's very controlling. She's very domineering, and how can I, just get out of a situation where she's trying to dominate me and control me? And you know what? I get a lot of emails from dudes like this. Not only are dudes in relationships where they're being dominated and being controlled, a lot of dudes are in situations where they're not even in a relationship with a woman, and the woman is still dominating them and controlling them. So now what part of the game is this, ladies and gentlemen? This is a very interesting dynamic. Some of you dudes, man, are straight up power simps. and this is tough love right now. I got to get real tough on you players. Y'all niggas are power simps, you're power tricks. And it's time to man up. You old oil of Olay ass niggas, it's time to man up with these women you're dealing with. I've been trying to tell y'all this stuff for the last 5 years. A lot of times, when you're not in a relationship with a woman and she's still controlling you, the reasons vary. Usually it's a couple of reasons. The main reason, if you're in a relationship, well, you're not in a relationship with a woman who's still controlling you and dominating you, the number one reason is that there's a child involved. This is usually the case. If your ex is making you jump through hoops and all this old shit, usually the kid is being used as a bargaining chip. The woman is playing games with the kid. She won't let you see your child if you don't conform to her needs. That's usually the number one culprit. And the thing is, I tell fellas, don't even play games with women like that. You have laws that will help you as far as that. I know a lot of the laws are kind of stacked against the brothers financially, but when it comes to visitation, you can go down to the mediator and you can get visitation of your kids. I've said this a million times. So you can stop the females from playing that bullshit game. Let her play games with the court, but you can go down there and get some visitation with your kids. That's something that they have to do, because if they're going to be all up in your ass about payments and all this, they're going to have to be up in her ass about letting you get that visitation popping. Because again, the courts, they're all about their money. They want to get their money on. And then, you not seeing your kid, that has nothing to do with any kind of financial significance. So you can go down and get the mediator to give you visitations of your kids and just let her deal with the court and let them deal with her bullshit. So that's not an excuse. I don't like guys to use that excuse. She did this to my kid, or she won't let me see my kid. Nigga, it's your kid. You go down there and you get your kid. You get what you need to do to be with your kid. Now, the other reason why a lot of dudes might let a female dominate them or control them and they're not in a relationship with the woman is if you are a man of some type of prominence, a man of some type of stature in your community or nationally, you're some kind of public figure, or just a man who's well known or well respected in the community or well respected at your job. The woman will use that as a bargaining chip to threaten to ruin your reputation. A woman that you've dealt with in a relationship, they'll go down to your job and try to show out and act a fool, so you try to keep the peace with her, or she'll try to spread rumors about you in the neighborhood. Or if you're a man of real affluent stature, she might try to write a tell-all book. So a lot of dudes will conform to their exes to keep them at bay. So those are the general reasons why guys would allow women to control them and they're not in a relationship with them, which they shouldn't let that happen anyway. You call their bluff. You let them say whatever they want to say. If they come down to your job, you have their ass arrested. Do what Deion Sanders did. He had Pilar Sanders' ass arrested. If they want to go and show out and do all that old bullshit, nigga, you be the victim. Don't let them get you to jump on them, because that's what they want you to do. They show out because they want you to jump on them, and then after you jump on them, they're going to be up in court looking like a little pilgrim with a bonnet on and a handkerchief all up on their nose with no tears coming out, playing the domestic violence card. So you got to flip that. When they start acting the fool, nigga, you get on that stand in a 3-piece suit and start crying too. Now, when you're in a relationship with a woman and she's dominating you, she's being domineering, she's controlling you, a woman is allowed to do this for one reason and one reason only. The only reason a woman is allowed to dominate a man in a relationship is because that man has been sexually whipped. And I've said this in my book, The Elite Way. I've said this on Ustream. I've said it on here. The only trump card a woman has in the relationship is that she can withhold sex at her disposal. So she's sexually dominating you. She's sexually whipping you. Sex is the trump card. Sex is the carrot that she dangles in front of your face to get you to do whatever she needs you to do. And fellas, there's nothing more dangerous than a woman who knows she has a man sexually whipped. That's a very dangerous thing. Forget about how impractical it is for the relationship as a man. But when you're sexually whipped by a woman knows she has you sexually dominated, a woman knows she has you sexually controlled, it gets very dangerous because women be setting niggas like this up to get robbed, killed. Women put dudes in positions to get all their money taken away from them. Dudes lose their money in court by being sexually dominated, being sexually manipulated, being sexually controlled. That's the root of a lot of negativity that comes out of a relationship. Just think about it. Whenever you hear about somebody getting set up or robbed or something, it's always some nigga going to a hotel to get some ass somewhere. They meet some chick and the chick ran game on him, threw some coochie in his face, and now he's trying to hit, and he goes to a hotel room and 20 goons jump out of a closet and rob and rape the nigga. You understand what I'm saying? And I know dudes who have gotten set up by chicks. Chicks invited them over to the crib and niggas got jumped. I had a dude in New York like that, a homie who got jumped a couple of times. A girl invited him over to a neighborhood, and I think the girl got upset because of something he said over the phone, and she played it real smooth and then had him set up to be jumped because he thought he was going over there to get some ass. So I hear stuff like that happening all the time. Men being controlled by sex, putting themselves in detrimental situations. Can't allow that to happen, brothers. And again, a lot of dudes out here, they get a good whiff of tang, woman whips them sexually. These niggas get into relationships and marriages without signing prenups, and then when this woman wants to break bad on you, all of a sudden you done lost half your shit. You done worked your ass off, and a female done fucked you literally out of your paper. Fortunately, our brother Dion was smart enough to play past that. That's why I'm using him as an example today. And even when Dion and Pilar had their show on, I think it was Bravo or Oxygen, you can tell that he was running the relationship. He was the controller, not the controlling person, but the controller, the man in charge of the relationship. Which is a good thing, because a lot of times when people talk about controlling and all that, it automatically conjures up images of something negative. And it's just not, that's not negative. It's not necessarily a negative thing. But the thing is, if a female can control you sexually, this is the foundation of her dominating the relationship. Because if she can control you sexually, she can control you mentally. And if she can control you mentally, she can control you emotionally and socially. So the thing is, I always talk about it. Fellas got to learn how to trump that sex card. That's been a dominant theme throughout my show for the last 5 years. So fellas, how do you not be dominated? How do you stop yourself from being dominated by your woman? Because at the end of the day, if your woman knows that she's dominating you, fellas, she's not going to respect you at the end of the day. That's why your woman, even if she's running the show, there's a lot of hate there. She's walking around bitter and mad because women don't want to control the relationship. They will try just to see if they can do it, but if they ultimately get that control, they get that power, they won't really like it. That's why these domineering women are always bitter still. They're always angry, they're always mad, they always have that bitchy attitude, and you don't know why. You're like, yes dear, everything is yes dear, and she's still unsatisfied. She's unsatisfied because you're allowing her to run you. Fellas got to understand that dynamic. So like I said, there are 4 things you can do to not be dominated, to get control back into the relationship, to get that coochie whip off your back. Number 1, the first thing you have to do to not be dominated, you have to condition your female. Now notice I said condition. I did not say train. Because you train a dog, you don't train anybody. Training, that has a negative connotation when you say you're training somebody. Because you respect your lady. You don't want to consider your lady a dog. You respect your woman. If you're in a relationship with somebody, you have to have a general amount of respect for them. But you condition them. And conditioning somebody is not a negative thing. When you condition somebody, you let them know how you get down. You let them know what you will accept. You let them know what you will not accept. And that's not a bad thing. Women can condition men to a certain degree, but men have to learn how to condition women to let them know that they will not be dominated, that they won't accept any kind of disrespectful, domineering behavior from the woman. So you have to do that from Jump Street, because the way you start is the way you end. So that's very important, conditioning your woman from the gate to set the tone. And if you're already in a relationship and you're just now listening to me, because I know a lot of guys out here, they're like, damn, I wish I had heard about you 10 years earlier, because I'm dealing with this big, fat, domineering broad who's treating me like shit. Well, nigga, you got to become a brand new dude. You got to be on some Jekyll and Hyde shit. You got to wake up tomorrow and be a whole new dude. Your whole shit has to change. You got to change yourself, and there's a lot of discipline in that. Now, number 2, the second thing you can do in order to not be dominated, number 2, you have to take charge but not dictate. Understand the difference between taking charge and dictating. See, taking charge, basically taking control of a lot of the decisions in the relationship that's going to be in the best interest of you and your lady. When you take control and you take charge, you're looking out for her. You're going to make decisions that's going to benefit both of you for the better. And you're going to use your experience as a man to take that control, to take charge like that. And a real woman should be able to respect that. A man who knows what direction he wants the relationship to go into. A man who's going to take charge. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you got to deal with other people, the man should deal with that, because people have a natural respect for the male in the relationship. Not to say that they don't have for women, but there's always a natural respect for the male in the relationship. The male can garner a certain level of respect that the woman won't automatically garner. Because people, a lot of times when you deal in business, or let's say just in general with a landlord or a bill collector or whatever, you know, they'll try to run game on the women a little bit. Just like with a mechanic. If a woman goes to a mechanic to get the car fixed, the mechanic generally knows that women are not too well versed on auto mechanics. So the mechanics, they will try to charge the woman triple of what the problem really is. They'll try to run game on the woman, but the man go up there and they try to run that game on him. He'd be like, wait a minute, hold on, nigga, an alternator ain't number $80, $90. What the fuck you talking about? You understand what I'm saying? So they'll try to run that game. That happened to me before. I was out of town, and, you know, I got a lot of little pets or whatever, and, you know, my neighbors would always call animal services on me. They would, every time I go out of town, they would call animal services on me. They're real slick. And then when I get home, they act surprised. Like, Mr. Nasheed, animal services came by. I don't know what happened. Like, bitch, you called them. That's what happened. But they always call animal services on me. And one time I was out of town and Peanut was at the crib. And what they did, animal services came and they got her to sign something. They got her to sign some type of court appearance thing, something. It was some bullshit ass thing they came up with, and they got her to sign it. And, you know, she didn't know. It's not that she was inarticulate or whatever, but she just naturally assumed that, you know, what they were saying was valid, that we had to go to court because of our dogs or whatever. But she didn't know that you don't sign a goddamn thing that they bring to your house. You never sign shit from anybody when they come to your house unless it's UPS or somebody. You never, ever sign nothing. You don't put your name on shit unless it's a package from UPS or FedEx. And because she signed that, we got all types of charges and fees that we had to pay, which we would not have had to pay if we hadn't assigned that, if she hadn't assigned that. If I was home, I would have told the dude to kiss my black ass. You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of folks don't know their rights. But that's just an example. When people deal with females, they just kind of run a little game on them. With brothers, with dudes, we know how to tell a motherfucker to go to hell. Sometimes in a nice way, sometimes in a very curt way. But sometimes you need that masculine energy there. People will step to men differently. as they would a woman. So that's why it's very important that women have a dude or a man who knows how to take charge or take control in the relationship in a positive way. And women, if you don't have a man who is experienced to take charge or to take control, that means your ass needs to upgrade yourself. You need to upgrade. It's very important. Now, the difference between a man taking charge and a man who's dictating, that's a real big difference. There's some dudes who just want to dictate just for the sake of dictating and being petty. They just want to be in charge just to say they're in charge, just to feel empowered. That's some petty bullshit that you don't want to really be dealing with as a woman. Because fellas, even if you do get a woman to conform to your dictatorship, you're just telling a woman what to do just to be doing it. Even if she conforms to that, there's going to be a silent resentment that's going to come out later in some kind of passive aggressive behavior. And you don't want to deal with that. That silent resentment is something you do not want to deal with. That's a very negative thing to deal with. So you got to be careful of that. So understand and know how to take charge without trying to dictate in the relationship over petty nonsense. Now, number 3, the third thing you need to do in order to not be dominated, fellas, you need to understand that a domineering female is a dime a damn dozen. A lot of you fellas feel like you don't have any kind of other options. Fellas, there's always options. Ain't no woman above being charged to the damn game. You understand what I'm saying? Let me repeat that one more time. There is not one woman who's above being charged to the game. If you're in a relationship and that shit ain't working, she's domineering, she might be fly, the sex might be good, but if it's going to compromise your integrity, you might as well go ahead and charge that, because sooner or later, if she's dominating you and disrespecting you, she's going to charge you anyway. So you might as well take the initiative if it's not working out in your favor, or start spitting that hot fire and upgrading that female. And understand that you do have options. So you don't have to sit up and have nobody dissing you and disrespecting you and dominating you and talking to you all types of sideways. You understand that? Now, that brings us to number 4. The final thing you need to do, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm talking to my fellas in particular, to not be dominated by your woman. The 4th thing you can do is control yourself sexually. And I've talked about this a million times on my show. A lot of guys don't know how to sexually discipline themselves. We live in a culture where, niggas just want to bang everything. Anything with a big hydrogelled ass, niggas want to bang it. Dudes want to hit it. And this is why you allow yourself to be manipulated and controlled by women, because you can't control yourself sexually. That's the first thing you must master as a true player. If you can't control yourself sexually, you're done. Because if you can control yourself sexually, you can control the female sexually. Because when you control yourself sexually, you have trumped the female sex card. So she's powerless against you. Controlling yourself sexually is like kryptonite. When you can control yourself and discipline yourself sexually, the women have nothing on you. They can't do shit. They gotta bow down to your will. You feel me? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's been today's episode of the Mac Lessons Radio Show. My main Facebook page, I have my Tariq Elite fan page, I have the Eugenist page, I have the Hidden Colors Facebook page. Now, there was a lot of people from the Hidden Colors page that, not a lot, there were about 1 or 2, but 3, about 3 people, 2 or 3 people who were kind of complaining. They were like, okay, the Eugenist is cool, but I thought I want to see some shit about the black man, They thought that the Eugenist was going to be kind of like Hidden Colors. So they were kind of upset about it. But the thing is, you have to understand, all my movies are not going to be this. You want to holler at some Caribbean females, you want to holler at some Polynesian sisters out there, go to globalblacksingles.com, sign up, share your game, chop up game with women. And ladies, if you want to step your game up and get you a cool Nigerian brother, you want to get you a nice fly brother from India with a hookup on sandals, or a Malaysian dude with a hookup on lace fronts, go to globalblacksingles.com, ladies and gentlemen. And today's show is also brought to you by hiddencolorsfilm.com. you guys go to hiddencolorsfilm.com to check out the critically acclaimed documentary, Hidden Colors. Let me put on some Mackie music so I can really chop it up with the family today. There we go. Let me put on some Mackie music so I can chop up game. And my movie, The Eugenist, that's coming out pretty soon. You guys can see the trailer at theeugenist.com. Check that out at theeugenist.com. A lot of people like the trailer. We put the trailer up on YouTube, and a lot of people like the trailer. And I put the trailer up on all my Facebook pages. I have, goddamn it, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Mac Lessons Radio Show. My name is Mr. Tariq Elite, also known as King Flex, also known as Tariq Nasheed. Glad to have everybody tuning in on today's show. Today's show, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you by headhuntersgear.com. That's where you can step your gear game up. That's headhuntersgear.com. Today's show is also brought to you by a new clothing line at Low 1221. You can get the Low 1221 clothing line at cafepress.com/LOW1221. They got fly t-shirts, all types of accessories. That's LOW1221. And you can get that at cafepress.com/low1221. And today's show is brought to you by globalblacksingles.com. Fellas, if you want to get your game popping worldwide on an international level, you want to holla at sisters over in Africa, you want to holla at sisters over in Brazil,